Everyone. This is John Rollins. Today is Wednesday, and that means that it is time for our weekly S.T.R.I.V.E sessions. S.T.R.I.V.E, as you recall, strategies to remain informed, victorious, and empowered. Strategies to help us, those of us who are believers, to navigate our time here on earth in a way that brings us joy, that brings us fulfillment, that causes us to laugh, that when we're going through those tough times, it helps us to endure strategies so that we can live victoriously while we're here on earth. I am so grateful. I don't know if I've said it, but for those of us, for those of you who participated with us during the Amazing Give on last week, thank you so much. We had an awesome time. I'm overjoyed with our results. We exceeded our goal, and so I'm grateful to those of you who participated with us. All right, so now let's talk about S.T.R.I.V.E. S.T.R.I.V.E, strategies to remain informed, victorious, and empowered. And our thought for this week is don't always save the best for last. And I believe you all, many of you probably heard, and now I'm going to say the best for last. All right. Or maybe we say last but not least. We'll say stuff like that. But I'm going to tell you a story, and many of you are familiar with this story. But I'm going to, and I was talking with a good friend of mine today, and we normally encourage each other. We'll start talking about things, and as we're communicating, uh, he may give me an inspired thought. I may give him an inspired thought. But we just work well together. And so today, as we were talking, he said something. And I said, man, you've given me the title for my S.T.R.I.V.E this evening. Don't save the best for last. So here's the story. And it's from this book that I read a lot. And whenever I say that, you all who've been listening to these sessions, you know I'm talking about the scriptures. In the book of John, there's a story about Christ going to a wedding, and you are familiar with it. And so at the wedding, there came a time when they ran out of wine, and Christ's mother came to him and said, "Okay, they need some wine." And Christ says, "What does that have to do with me?" Basically saying that I'm not here for stuff like that. It kind of does how I interpret it. I'm sure that was not his demeanor, but he says, "What does that have to do with me?" But anyway, so his mom told him, she says, whatever she told the servants, say whatever he tells you to do, just do it. Don't pay a lot of attention to him. To my why me? Don't give attention to that. Whatever he tells you to do, you do it. All right. And so Christ gave them instructions on how to proceed in order to address their challenge. And you all know the instructions. He turned the water into wine, and we all know about that. But here's the thing that was interesting for me and in our discussion. And you've heard this before. They took the wine to the governor, and the governor tasted the wine, and the governor went to the host and said, ordinarily, what people do is they give out their best wine first, and then after everybody's gotten a little tipsy, then they take out the least inferior wine, or the more inferior wine. He said, "But you've done different. You saved the best wine for last." Now, and so the idea is don't save the best for last. And here's a mindset: when the people are drunk, what benefit is there for them to taste the best wine? They're already drunk. In our lives, when we've gone through so much stuff and we work long, we say we're going to wait till we get to retirement, we're going to, and you fill in the blank, when I get my new house, I'm going to be, when I get my new car, when I get the new job, I'm going to be. And many times what we do is we put off the things that will bring us excitement, the things that will bring us fulfillment, waiting on a future time. Many times the best looks like this. We've given everything that we possess, all of our skills, all of our abilities, all of our talents. We've used them up, and then when it's time to get some type of benefit from it, we're not in a position to do so. Okay, and so the best has passed. We've used up our best, and now we're left with these. We're here dealing with these leftovers. In your relationships, in your search to find that person who is going to fulfill you, that person who is your complement, the person who is your helpmeet, the person who is your soul, the one that you're looking for, who is the love of your life. You call yourself waiting for that person to come, but you've given up so much of yourself in other relationships, so that when, and I said before, this is probably a little uncomfortable, but when you find that person who is the person for you, your match, you've given up so much of yourself, so that when you get to them, there's not a lot left for them. Okay, so you've already used up your best, and you're giving them your leftovers. Okay, so don't use up everything you have and then try to make that fit. Okay, use your best and put that on display, so that you're able to meet that person. When I go out, and this is an example, when I go out, I'm not going to just go out looking any kind of way. I'm going to go out. Well, I don't feel like getting dressed up. Why not? Put your best. You give your best in that moment. Well, I don't feel like doing my hair. Why not? You give your best. You're not, and don't do it for other people. Do it for you. Give your best. When I work with the students, one of the activities I do is I ask them, I'll go in and say, well, good morning, everybody. And then based on how they respond, I say, wow, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate that? And they may say a 2 or 3 or 5 or whatever. And I ask them, could you do better? And many times they say, yeah. I say, well, how much better can you do? And I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, can you give me a 10? And many of them will say, no, we can't give a 10. But every now and then we'll get a few say, yeah. I say, well, if you can't give me a 10, give me your best. And then here's how we bring that home. We talk about their potential. There's an activity that we do where we ask them to, how many apples are in an apple? And we go through and they'll talk about it. Because the first thing we ask them is how many seeds are in the apple. And they guess 3, 4, 8, whatever. They'll just come up with a number. But then I ask how many apples are in the apple. And eventually somebody will grasp the idea that the potential of one apple is unlimited apples, because each apple has seeds, and each seed has the potential to grow a tree. Each tree has the potential to produce more apples, and inside of each of those apples there are more seeds. So there's potentially unlimited apples in one apple. And I asked them, well, what is your potential? How many apples are in you? And I tell them, though, if they never take the apple seed and put it in the soil, they will never get an apple tree. Whatever potential goes unfulfilled, untapped. And I tell them, not giving your best is like taking your potential and throwing it on the side of the road. It cheats you whenever you don't give your best. In every encounter, every interaction, if you aren't giving the very best of yourself to that situation, you're robbing your potential. You're not hurting anybody else, but you're robbing your potential. So if you're in school and you're not giving your best to your studies, if you're not giving your best to your preparation, If you're going to be on the weightlifting team, but you're cheating on your workouts, you're not following your dietary restrictions. If in your relationship, if you're not giving a good morning every time, if you're not engaging with the people, you're cheating because you're not giving your best. And so, and then years from now, you wonder what happened. Well, what happened is that when you had an opportunity to give your best, you didn't, and now you're not able to maximize on what's been presented to you. All right. So don't get used all up into my one day. No, 2 day. 2 day. One day may never come. Or you may be, I hear so many times about people who have devoted their 40, 50 years of their life to get to retirement. And then when they get to retirement, something happens to them and they're not able to enjoy. You get today. You get today. Today you're here. If you're listening to this, today you're here. Did you give your best? Don't save your best for another time. Give your best today and tomorrow and the next time and the next time. And I believe, and I can't prove this by any type of research, but I believe that if you are consistently giving your best, I believe that you can expect better returns. That's just my thought, All right. So don't always save the best for last. Give your best right now, and then see where it takes you. There's a scripture that says, the measure that you sow, that's the measure that you're going to return. All right. So if you're giving your best, then you can expect a really good return. Hey, this is John with the S.T.R.I.V.E session. Strategies to remain informed, strategies to remain victorious, strategies to remain empowered. And we want to close the way that we always do. It's been a week since we've been together. And so if you've not had someone to come into your life and to remind you that you matter, to remind you that you are an awesome individual, that their world would not be the same if you were not in it, to affirm your greatness, then I accept that responsibility, because I want you to know that today, tomorrow, and forever, okay, you are important. All right. God bless you all. We'll see you next week, hopefully. Bye.